Hello. Today I'm here with the lead developer of Hyperstacks, which is an upcoming VR game that will be releasing next year in April. Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct. It's what I will try to do.
All right. And so starting off, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Extrys. I just like to create games, and I started to create Hyperstacks as a hobby. It's said. I don't know if it's said correctly. Um, and then it became that what's now.
Okay. Cool. So, first question I wanted to ask was, what was your inspiration for the game?
At the beginning, I wanted to make a roguelike.
Okay.
So I inspired on Enter the Gungeon, and also as I played it Trove, and so I wanted to make it voxel. So I wanted to make something voxel in VR and roguelike, but it becomes more complex with the time, and it started as a random idea that started to take a real shape with the time. And right now, I'm the idea of the game is based on part of Enter the Gungeon, Mario Maker, so you can create your levels and so, and also Portal. I wanted to give the game a little bit of Portal with the puzzles and so.
Yeah,
And these are these three games.
right. Yeah, the Portal aspect definitely caught my eye. I've always been a really big fan of the Portal series. Man, I would kill for a Portal game on VR. Oh, it'd be amazing. But Valve has
I love
said
Portal.
multiple times that are like, oh, it just wouldn't work for VR. But I mean, I understand because I mean a lot of people get motion sick, so I understand that some people aren't the biggest
I
fans of.
wanted to make something for Portal, so not for Portal, but I wanted to try and experiment with different portals, like the Portal game, but these portals are gonna be like gravity portals, so you have not to worry about motion sickness because you when you enter in the portal, you don't turn like portal game
Uh huh.
does. It's something I want to experiment in a future.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds cool. So next question was, where did you get your start in game development?
Okay. I started at 14, 13 years old, approx 14, 13. Don't remember exactly. I just starting creating. I was 3D designing and so, and programming just a bit. And I liked to make games and so I started to study about with YouTube tutorial videos, forums and so, and then I I was more convinced I wanted to create the game. So from 13 years old, I started until I was 16, 17. I started to work in a company, and then I was moving in between jobs. I was working with a YouTuber, and then I started to work in a school as programming teacher and to create VR experience and so. And then finally, I'm working on another enterprise as the creators of and the Citadel is a VR game of about zombies and so, and also working on my own game that is Hyperstacks.
Right. Okay. Cool. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of the game. I think it definitely deserves more
Thank you.
recognition than it's getting. I feel like you've definitely put a lot of work into it, and I mean, it definitely shows. But I mean, I hope this even would at least bring a little more attention to it because I really do think that it could become a pretty big game.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
It's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I can definitely tell. So, are you working on the game full time?
No, since I'm working on that Citadel as my fight job,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I finish the working day, and so I take advantage of the last hours of the day, and also I work on Hyperstack mostly on weekends because non-weekends days I have not so much time I would like to have. So mostly weekends.
Okay. All right, I got you. And so this is more of a personal question because it was one of the first things that stood out to me when I first tried out the game. But who composed the music for the game?
The music is composed by Predator, is a musician, and he's a machine of creating this kind of music. I love how he um, do that effort in he gives a lot of a lot of
Mm-hmm.
love to their songs for the game. And I can tell he do it because he like the game, he like do music, and he's a great artist. Is
Yeah,
Predator
it's.
in our Discord, and
Mm-hmm.
is amazing.
And did he have any specific inspirations when it came to the music style?
Inspirations about the for the music. Um, I just contacted with him because feel like their kind of music was original style I haven't seen in other games. So it's not like I have inspired in something for the music. Just I feel like his music uh, mm, joins super well on Hyperstacks.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I can definitely. There's a very well aesthetic mesh there. Moving on, what is the meaning behind the name Hyperstacks? Where did that come from?
The game was about a roguelike, so I call it hyper stack for the stacking of the skills and so hyper stacking for weapons levels
Mm-hmm.
and so like a roguelike, a classic roguelike and so. But the game started changing a lot until I have the solid idea it's right now, and stop it being roguelike or pure roguelike. The game remains Hyperstacks,
Mm-hmm.
and right now it has a little um, recognition for the name. I cannot change the name. I don't feel I can
Right,
change
right.
the name right now.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I feel like there's a lot of games where like they have names like that, and then they kind of end up like not exactly going with how the game ends up, but it just like it sticks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm.
So how did you estimate the release date? I mean, this is another kind of personal question, but I always find it interesting when games they give a release date. How do you kind of calculate your workload and when you think it'll come out?
So I say that because after working on the game so much time and so I more or less have something defined on how much I will take to make something. For example, if I create a system for creating for the level editor, for example, if I create the level editor, I I feel I never did one, so I will try to investigate and so. Then when I have an approximate idea about how to do it, I more or less organize the time, and I say, well, I have to do this, and
Uh-huh.
every time has a little time. Once something hard is made for creating little things like every item in the level editor, since I have already created an structure for the items on the level editor, I don't take any time almost to create new items for the level editor. So I just need to calculate how much time I will take to create, for example, a Jump platform that propulses the player up. That it's, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. Depends on a lot of things. And as I have to create the multiplayer, and so I feel like the multiplayer can take a little long to make. And also I need to create a lot of more things, more items for the level editor, more, and I expect more or less like having 3 or 4 months. So I want a little more, I just say also a little more time for extra, just in case.
Will you continue to add things to the game after release?
Yes. The game will continue updating.
Okay, cool. And when did you start development on Hyperstacks?
I started developing Hyperstack in 2018. 2018, I started to create this roach-like. I don't know. I cannot move my hands. Roach-like, and in quotes, in lots of quotes. And since that date, I was like 2 years working on the idea, and so, and until 2019 at the end, and I don't started to give to make the game like it's right now. In fact, at the end of 2019, I didn't even know that Hyperstack will have level editor. I don't know. I confused with the timings and so, but I didn't know it will have level editor in a year ago, for example.
Okay, so the Mario Maker level editor aspect wasn't always there?
Yes, for example, that aspect of the game was designed in 1 year ago, and it's what's true. That's that aspect of the game. It was the game is about. So the game changed a lot, and the last year definitely changed from the core. So if I say a date from where I started to create Hyperstack, like as it is right now, more or less like 1 year ago.
Okay. No, that's cool. You've definitely made some really impressive development in a year. Considering it's just yourself, right? Like you're the one who just does all the mechanics and whatnot. That's definitely impressive. So, what headset are you using as of right now, and like for development and whatnot?
Okay, right now I'm using Rift S.
Okay.
And I started to develop with HTC Vive, and it was really strange because I started developing in VR because I had a traffic accident, and for that traffic accident I was paid for the injuries and so, the securers and so, and then I take advantage of that morning to buy my first VR headset that was HTC Vive, and I started to develop when I have the HTC Vive for VR.
Oh,
and
really?
then I have other headset, but this headset are more from development, and so that Oculus give and some.
Okay. So you actually got a dev kit from Oculus?
Yes, I got 4 dev kits right now.
Oh wow. Okay. Really? So why so many?
It was super weird because the first one was Oculus CB1. Then 4 months later, I was given with the Oculus Rift S, but like 4 or 5 months later, my Oculus Rift S started to fail, it started to getting the screen off and doing weird sounds and so. Then I wasn't able to use it. So I requested for this problem, and so they wanted to send me another development kit. But seems that I was also moving to another house, so there seems that what was a bug in the shipment, because they sent me together to development kits.
Oh.
So I have like four error.
Well, hey, there you go. I mean, you got more
It's
VR headsets than most people.
yeah.
So okay. Next question was, what inspired you to make Hyperstacks a VR game?
Okay. I feel I just wanted I just love with VR in when I have it, and so, and I just wanted to create something in VR. And I feel like in that moment, when I started to create Hyperstacks, the climbing part of the games and so was not developed almost. Um, Even not the game of the climb. I think in that date was not famous and so. So I just wanted to create something that I wanted to climb and so in VR, and also do something that it's not able in VR in that date. Right now is almost is everything done for VR, but I just wanted to create something original that is not for VR. It's
Right.
just for that.
Okay. And did you have like a magic moment one day, or like just anything that kind of, gave you that thought, like, okay, Hyperstacks is what I need to make. Like this is the game that I need to give to the world.
Yes, 1 year ago. So when the game changed from a roguelike to a Mario Maker, that was the magic moment. When I said it's the perfect idea. It's easy for people to create levels, easy to play. Like the people can vote, and so it is super simple. It's super simple, and I think it's a good idea. So I abandoned completely the roguelike, the pure roguelike idea, and just changed my mind to create what is now.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. There's nothing really like it right now. And I think the Mario Maker aspect and idea is definitely something that is cool to see, because I think really the only other game that comes to mind when it comes to like create your own levels would be like Beat Saber, but that's a whole different type of beast.
Yeah.
But okay, do you have any specific development challenges that you remember?
Yes. When one of them, I think one of them was when I started to create the level editor. So it was a problem because I wanted to create the level editor just because I had another person in the team that was the designer, and so, and as I wanted to take my time to programming new mechanic, and so, while my other teammate is making a level or something, I realized that she didn't know how to use Unity. For she, it was hard. So I tried to tried to make like a editor, but for the engine. It's what started to be with the time the level editor that it's right now. But it started as a PC level editor, so you can create the levels in PC. Don't need VR. The problem was when I realized that it was a good idea for the game, but I had to make it for the players. So I have to detach it from the engine, to say in that way, and port from PC to VR, because it was a disaster. A completely disaster when I give public access to the level editor without VR. and anyone wanted to create levels without VR. Anyone, because it was super weird to create levels for a VR game without seeing it in VR. So the change from PC to VR was are really starting from zero in the level editor, because it's not just the putting a game, it's also the menus, everything in PC cannot be done for VR. If I have a menu in PC, that menu cannot be like in VR. In VR, I have to have a set of buttons around my hand or something. But I had to change a lot of things. It was hard.
Yeah, because I did mess around with the editor a little bit. I was planning on making a level, which I mean I still need to get around to do. I definitely will do that to add something to the ecosystem, I guess, of levels that you've got there. I mean you've got a few so far, and there definitely have been some interesting ones. I did manage to break that one. I managed to break the punch blocks.
Yeah, it's hard to break the punch block, but you can break so many things in the game. I try to make things almost unbreakable, but it's almost impossible to.
Right.
So I try to make it, polish it as much as I can. If something has a lot of bugs, I prefer to not give it to the public yet until it's more easy to use.
Right, because you don't want to leave a bad impression. So I know you're adding multiplayer. That's something that people are definitely excited for, and
yes.
You also have the lobby that's coming soon. And is there
Can you repeat about the lobby?
That's coming soon. The lobby.
Yes.
Is there anything else like any other special things coming soon that players can look forward to?
Well, coming soon. Not coming really soon, but I'm first focusing on the multiplayer, but later, from when the multiplayer is ready, because the next features I want to add to the game will be built almost for multiplayer and social interaction. Will be the arcade part of the lobby. It has an arcade where you can play arcades, physical arcades with the machines and so, and win points. Also play with your friends, win points for special hats and so. Also, the hats and pets are all cosmetics. Cosmetics for when you play with a friend, you can flex about what you have.
Right.
Also,
fun, yeah.
there is Planet, the Hypernomicon. I don't know if I should change the name, but it will be like a museum, a big museum that will show every mechanic you find in the game, every boss, every enemy. Also, the bosses is something I want to add to the game. And about other thing I want to add, but I need to make first the level editor, the bosses, and so, is the quick run mode that you start in a level, in an easy level, and you change levels. You complete a level, go to a random level that is created, that is sorted by for you, and you go for random levels, and then sometimes a shop to buy a weapon or something. Then after some levels completed, you go to a boss. Then you complete the boss. Then you start playing harder levels, tier 2 levels, and so it's something I want to add that can bring back a bit of the roach-like feeling.
Okay.
But I have first to create all the things, and then once the bosses and the multiplayer and everything is done, I will think about implementing it. But everything that community ask me for add in the game, if I feel that it fits in the game, why not? I also add what community wants.
Okay, what you mentioned kind of rolls into my next question was, so will there be a campaign for the game, or is it going to be mostly focused on the level editor?
There will be levels, built-in levels, and so Also, part of the lobbies, tutorial, and the NPCs will explain you a bit of the game. It will be also will have built-in things that will not be made by the community, but the focus of the game is mainly the the community and the gameplay that the community can offer to the players. Something sometimes I find levels made by the community that I didn't expect it that can be made with the level editor.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that is really cool.
Right. Yeah. No. Definitely. I think that's always fun is when you give a community of people like a set of tools. You can often be surprised with it. Like like in Minecraft when Redstone and all that. Like people made some crazy stuff back in the day, like full calculators and all that.
It's for that I added the repeaters and the logic gates, so people can literally create calculators and whatever they want. I
Mm-hmm.
think in a faster way than Minecraft does, because in Minecraft probably you know that there's a little delay between systems and energy transmission, for to say in that way.
Mm-hmm.
In Hyperstacks that not exist. There's no delay. It's zero delay. So you can create fast calculators, and so I want to see something of that created by someone.
Right. No. That sounds really cool. Actually, like that's really neat. Okay, so next question I had was, what was your first experience in VR? Like, when was the first time you ever tried VR?
Okay, my first time I tried VR. Oh, I just realized that there is a skeleton.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, there
My
is
first
one over
time, yeah, my first time I tested VR was in a friend house. Was for playing Beat Saber, and my first experience was Beat Saber, I think. I love it. Also, I played a mage game. It
Oh,
was super weird because I had the motion sickness.
was it
But
was it Blade and Sorcery or Waltz of the Wizard?
no,
Was it?
Waltz the Wizard.
It was
I
Waltz of
think.
the Wizard. Okay, that was one of the first. That was one of the first VR games, wasn't it?
Oh,
Yeah,
was the first.
I think it was. Yeah, one of the first. So, I mean, actually, in my case, my first experience in VR was actually like phone VR, which I know a lot of people who try phone VR for the first time, they end up, not liking VR
Okay.
because they get motion sickness.
Oh,
Right? Yeah.
from VR, I think
Yeah.
it's the worst thing that
It,
exists for VR, but
it
it's
is terrible.
something it's needed to make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, because even back then, I think VR has just always been just an amazing thing for me, and even back then, just playing, because I the one that I had specifically was like a ViewMaster VR. It didn't even have a strap that went around your head. You had to hold it up to your face in order to use it,
Yeah.
and it was just like a little scene where you just kind of were flying above, like it was like a low poly kind of Arctic type setting.
Yeah. Well, not my first experience was not my first game experience was Portal in VR. It seems weird, but this was Portal in VR, where I hadn't VR. I
Mm-hmm.
just created a VR with mobile, some sort of VR, and I just wanted to play Portal. So with a bit of programming and a prism. Mm, I don't know how to say the prismatic,
Mm-hmm.
no,
Prismatic, yeah.
um, yes, prismatic glass, and so I just created a little VR device, and I was able to play Portal just with the head, but it was my real first experience, I think.
Okay, wow, that's actually really cool. So you made like your own like HMD,
Yeah, more just
just
the H
goggles.
in. Mhm.
Wow, that's really cool. Um, okay, yeah, no, that's super cool. I know I'm like nerding out over it. Sorry, but that's
It was
neat.
just mobile phone and a gyroscope and split screen and the team viewer, just that combination, and just make something like a VR headset, more or less.
Yeah, right. Okay, so I actually did. I put out I'm sure you've seen this, but I put out a form on your Discord to ask for a few community questions from fans that wanted to ask you some specific questions that I hadn't already asked. And most of them were relating to multiplayer. So the first one I have here was, is there any idea on when the multiplayer is going to be released?
Okay, I it's the actually the multiplayer is made in a phantom way, so you can right now, not right now. I have it in my own version, but I I need to build to create a server build to be able to push the game to the server so you can connect with a friend without having to open a server and so. But right now the multiplayer is done. I just need to find a way to move it to the server, and it's a basic multiplayer. It's the ghost multiplayer, so you cannot interact with the other player or their levels. You will be a ghost, and each one will be in their own level, just for speed running and race reasons and so. And later, I will be adding the interaction. Um, Bit by bit, the interaction. But right now, the Ghost multiplayer mode, I think it will be ready next week,
Oh,
more or
wow.
less,
Okay, cool.
so people can test the multiplayer. I want to make also in the Discord a stress test to being able to see how much people can join in the same um, party for playing multiplayer.
Okay. That's actually super soon, so that's exciting. That'll be fun to check out. I've told a few friends about the game because, again, like I said, I think it really deserves more recognition than it's getting. But I told a few friends about the game, so I definitely will want to try out the multiplayer with them. And then the other community question we had relating to VR was, will there be lobbies or a friend system, or how will joining your friends work?
It will be a room code system. You will enter the multiplayer room of the lobby, and you create room. Then a code is created, and your friend just has to type that code and join. It's like, I don't know if you know the game Brawlhalla. If you do, it's the same. You create a room and you share the code with your friends. Your friends set the code and they join you.
Okay. Yeah, like Brawlhalla or Among Us, something like that. Okay. So I think I've only got a few questions left here, but I wanted to know if you had any. So were the enemy types that you have in the game currently, were those implemented during the roguelike stage, or were those added afterwards?
Most of them were implemented in the roguelike stage. In fact, this were the basic enemy that is single eye, and so the more easy to kill enemy is the first made in the game. But the two sword enemy and the cannon enemy was created when the game was about to get a level editor. The level editor was not ready yet, but mostly were in the roguelike phase.
And do you have any names for the enemies, or are they just the two swords guys and etc.?
How I call them is the small enemy with an eye. I call it basic enemy.
Okay.
The one that moves in the ground with the little cannon and shoots a lot of green bullets. I call it the toaster bomber.
Okay.
I don't remember if bomber toaster or toaster bomber, but something like that, because it was designed to shoot bombs with the mini cannon, and you could take the bombs and return the bombs to him.
Oh,
So
that'd be
it's
fun.
that I call him bomber toast bombs. Also, I have to implement the bombs yet for that enemy. Also, the turrets, I call them turrets. Just the square, the rotated square with face and a base that shoots in X. Just the turret. I have to put them a name. Also, the melee enemy is called melee enemy.
Okay.
No, it's not the name. And the one with the cannon, which is big and shoots big balls, is called Big Balgui. I call it Big Balgui just because it shoots a big ball that explodes.
Right.
I feel like I need to set them names, but I will leave that part when I do the combat update. I have to make the game is short in different kind of updates. One of them is the level editor update, which will come with more things and so. And one of them is the combat update, which will come with more weapons and more enemies, a little better artificial intelligence and so. And then when I will add more enemies, I probably give them proper names.
Gotcha. Okay. So I had just one last question for you, and it is, if you had to pick one, what would you name your favorite VR game? I had to save the toughest question for last.
Okay, it's probably super basic, but Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Beat Saber, it's my favorite game.
I get that. I understand.
And one more.
I understand. I mean, I know a lot of people, and there's like people who they buy VR just for Beat Saber. There's people who are just absolutely they live for Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Have you beaten any Expert Plus levels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm the number 30 in Spain. So I play a lot. I play a lot with Saber.
Yeah.
I have completed several Expert Plus levels.
Okay, I need to ask one question because I know I'm sure you know about the Carmelia music pack.
Yeah.
And it's like the most infamous pack that comes with the game.
I love Carmelia music.
It's great. Have you? Okay, I want to know this because I'll be jealous if this is true. Have you beaten any Carmelia songs on Expert Plus?
From the original package, I think I just need to complete one of them.
Okay.
For the default package, but also I also have a lot of music from Carmelia, from custom levels, because I love Carmelia. I know their music from Osu when I played Osu. Carmelia was it's like I love the Carmelia music.
Yeah, it's some. It definitely fits very well with those type of high octane rhythm games. Well, I mean, yeah, that's about all the questions I had. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate that you could come on. It was nice to learn some more stuff about Hyperstacks. I'm definitely, even more so excited about the game than I was previously. I really hope that this will be able to, get Hyperstacks out there more into the public and, get your name out there more, because I really think it deserves it. But yeah, I mean, I'll definitely be, I'll be finishing this up and hopefully get it out as soon as possible, and I'll let you know. But thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you to you. I love to make this thing. I really enjoy the questions also. Anything you need, you can contact me through Discord. I will be there. So
Sure. Okay.
thank you so much
Thank you.
for
Yeah.
everything.
Of course. Thank you.